There seems to be something about being told we can't do something that makes us want to do it even more. If that's true, then you won't be able to stay away from some of the locations on today's list, like a 20,000-year-old cave, a top-secret government office, and an unlikely Arctic warehouse. Hold on tight, subscribe to the channel, and let's take a closer look at the 10 forbidden places you're not allowed to visit. Number 10. Haunted Italian Plague Hospital on Poveglia Island. Just a short boat ride from the world-famous city of Venice lies a picturesque island thought to be one of the most haunted places on Earth. Throughout its long and storied history, the hospital on Poveglia was often the scene of indescribable horrors. In 1776, the island became property of the Italian Public Health Office, who immediately began using it as a place to quarantine plague victims. It would serve this function until 1814. By then, it was estimated that around 160,000 people had been disposed of in mass graves, called plague pits, on Poveglia Island alone. After 1814, it sat vacant until 1922, when the existing buildings were converted into a mental asylum. During this period, doctors at the facility were said to be sadistically experimenting on patients, and there is evidence of early lobotomies being tested on living test subjects, without any prior consent and with little to no concern given to victims. One of these doctors was said to be so tortured by his actions and driven mad by ghosts that he leapt to his death from the island's bell tower. The facility was finally closed in 1968, and to this day, many of the buildings remain standing, including a kavana, a church, a hospital, an asylum, a bell tower, and housing and administrative buildings for the staff. While absolutely no one is allowed on the island, it doesn't stop the occasional photographer or documentary film crew from gaining access. Furthermore, paranormal enthusiasts and renegade urban explorers also frequently try to access the island, often illegally. And if you thought this haunted hospital was off limits, wait until you see our number 1 entry, an area so forbidden, trespassers face certain death. Number 9. The Vatican's top secret archives. While millions of people visit Vatican City, there is one place that almost nobody goes: the Vatican Apostolic Archive. In the 1st century of Christianity, the church was already assembling a sizable collection of records. Known alternately as the Holy Scriptorium or the Tritarium, it normally traveled with the current pope. Eventually, it became apparent that this was no way to protect the precious documents, and they were stored permanently on the Cortile de Belvedere. Today, these massive archives contain documents that span almost 12 centuries. The massive collection requires nearly 53 miles of shelving and 35,000 volumes of catalogs. And while much of the content available in the archives have been made accessible, there's still a number of items that are not available to the public, including everything written or documented after 1958. And even then there are restrictions. For instance, an entire selection of the archives relating to the personal affairs of cardinals from 1922 onwards cannot be accessed by anyone ever. Additionally, the archives are said to hold artifacts dating back as far as the 8th century. Even though certain top-ranking officials are allowed inside the archive, and a small number of documents are available to scholars, throughout most of history, the only person with access was the Pope. Before we go on, like this video, pop the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell right now, or the ghost in your closet will manifest itself tonight. Number 8. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault. Located on a remote Norwegian island called Spitsbergen, this place is seriously remote, and as part of an Arctic archipelago, it is seriously cold too. This barren frozen landscape is home to the Svalbard Global Seed Unit. The purpose of this facility is to store and preserve copies of all the seeds held in gene banks worldwide. By doing this, the facility provides something of a safety net in cases of famine, extinction, crop plagues, or widespread unwanted genetic variations. Because the seeds are stored there by global gene banks, the only people with access to the facility and all that, only their seeds, are their original owners. Given that it could one day be mankind's last hope, the facility is not very forgiving about visitors. And if you are wondering how many samples are stored there, the answer is an astounding 992,032. The massive collection of seeds spans around 5,000 different species and is growing every year. Number 7. Lascaux Caves, France. Discovered in the 1940s, these caves are located in the Lascaux Hills of southeastern France. The caves are filled with a number of paintings thought to be over 20,000 years old. The paintings are charcoal colored and depict a range of animals including deer, horses, aurochs, ibex, and bison. The Lascaux caves represent one of the few examples of cave paintings dating back as far as the early Magdalenian until the Upper Paleolithic period. They are the combined efforts of many generations and give a glimpse into the history of the people who lived there in prehistoric times. These stunning works of art went undisturbed for thousands of years, but when they were rediscovered in the 1940s, they were open to the public without a full understanding of how cut off from the world the paintings really had been. As people began to swarm the site, a series of fascinating and tragic scientific phenomena took place. The number of people breathing in the caves caused a sudden spike in moisture and new air chemistry. Furthermore, they left behind bacteria and fibers. By the 1950s, the caves had started to grow mold and fungus spores. Eventually, visitors were restricted to just a few per month, but the damage was done. For the last 70 years, experts have been fighting to preserve the cave art and reverse the damage done by human disturbance. But every few years, they are faced with a new battle. As of 2018, black spots have started to appear in the paintings. But whether it is a fungus, a mold, or some type of mineralization has never been discussed. Today, no one except a very small team of analysts are ever permitted to enter the cave, and with good reason. Number 6. North Sentinel Island. The North Sentinel Island in India is among the most forbidden places on Earth, and for good reason. The island is home to a tribe of Sentinelese people, who represent one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. Some people there are in voluntary isolation from the outside world, and those who approach the island are often met with a hail of arrows, and their bodies are never seen again. That is exactly what happened to a Christian missionary in 2018, when he decided that the Sentinelese people had been wrong for thousands of years and tried to convert them. Fortunately though, and it is highly illegal to get within 5 nautical miles of the island, a law that is relentlessly enforced by the Indian Navy, who frequently patrols the area. Number 5. First Emperor Qin Shi Huang's tomb. Just outside the city of Qian, China, farmers were digging a well when they came across a clay statue of a soldier. They turned the relic over to authorities, who determined that the location was the burial site of the first emperor. After a crew of over 700,000 workers excavated the site. Despite uncovering the tomb, it remains sealed to this day and the area is strictly off limits, as many have speculated that it may be filled with untold jewels. Number 4. Secrets in Area 51. Area 51 is an iconic part of American urban legend, and this list wouldn't be complete without it. It is one of the most famous off-bounds locations in North America. Many people are convinced that the government facilities there house proof of alien life, and it is no surprise that the access is granted only to those with high-level security clearance. Number 3. Bohemian Grove. Everyone loves the mystery surrounding the idea of an Illuminati, but perhaps the closest thing we have to point to right now is the Bohemian Club. Located at Bohemian Grove, a massive 2,700-acre property located in Monte Rio, California, it is a men's-only club that routinely has past and present presidents, celebrities, and the corporate elite as members. To become a full member and achieve top status, known as joining the old guard in the organization, takes 40 years of membership in good standing. It is an honor that has been bestowed on a small number of powerful people, including former US President Herbert Hoover, who joined the Bohemian Club in 1913 and became a member of the Old Guard on March 19, 1953. Notable members have included Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, and Glenn T. Seaborg. What's more, the Manhattan Project was initially conceived there and culminated in the creation of the atomic bomb. This event is a highly regarded part of their history and is frequently discussed. The club is off-bounds to anyone who hasn't been explicitly invited, and due to the secrecy of the club, it has been rumored that massive amounts of drinking and strange occult rituals take place there. Number 2. Room 39. Room 39 is located in Pyongyang, North Korea, and is a government office where North Korea's economy is secretly held up by government-sanctioned criminal activity. In fact, the activities in Room 39 are thought to contribute as much as $2 billion a year to North Korea's economy. While high-level secrecy surrounding the facilities makes a lot of the dealings there a mystery, what we do know through the work of the National Intelligence Agency and other organizations is rather disturbing. It is likely that the activities in Room 39 revolve around but aren't limited to counterfeiting $100 American bills, producing methamphetamine, heroin production, and international insurance fraud. They also run upwards of 120 legal and illegal companies, some of which include major financial powers such as Zakwan Trading and Taesong Bank. Even on paper, Room 39 accounts for 25 to 50% of North Korea's total trade and transactions. However, it is truly a criminal empire led by the country's political elite, including Kim Jong-un and generations of the Kim dynasty. Number 1. Ilha de Queimada Grande, Brazil. Also known as Snake Island, this uninhabited island is empty for a good reason. Anyone approaching this island will be met with a sign in Portuguese saying, Desembarque Prohibido, which translates to landing prohibited. The reason why this island is so off limits to human beings is because it is home to thousands of uniquely adapted and highly venomous snakes. Most notably, the world's only population of golden lancet vipers. These incredibly rare snakes, one of the most venomous species on the planet, with the bite causing death in minutes, long before even awaiting a helicopter could get you to a hospital. Fortunately, their only habitat exists where humans are strictly forbidden. Even if you could go to this island, you probably wouldn't want to, considering Snake Island is literally covered in snakes of all kinds. The island is just 420,000 square meters and is home to an estimated average of 1 snake per square meter, so good luck avoiding them. All in all, it's a pretty good thing that this destination is forbidden. And that's all for 10 forbidden places you're not allowed to visit. Which one was your favorite? Have you heard of similar places? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to Trend Joint for more incredible videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.